You may think that the way you sleep at night has nothing to do with your brain or your heart. But the truth is far more dangerous. As a brain doctor, I have seen patients who went to bed feeling perfectly fine only to wake up with slurred speech, weakness on one side, or even unable to get out of bed. Stroke does not always strike during the day. It can happen silently in the night. And one hidden factor is your sleeping position. What seems comfortable may actually restrict blood flow, increase pressure in your arteries, and quietly raise your risk of a stroke while you are asleep. This risk is even higher for seniors who already have high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease. The shocking part is that most people never suspect their favorite sleeping posture could be putting their brain at risk. In this video, I will explain why your sleeping position matters, reveal the one position that is most dangerous, show you who is most at risk, and finally, give you safer sleeping habits that can protect your brain and heart. These are simple changes, but they may save your life. Before we dive in, if you have not subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you find this video valuable, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 so I know how to improve future content. Part 1. Why sleeping position matters for brain circulation. The first truth you must understand is that your sleeping position directly influences how well blood and oxygen circulate through your brain and body during the night. Many people think that once they lie down, the body simply rests and resets. But in reality, your posture while asleep changes the way your heart pumps, the way blood flows through your vessels, and even how much pressure builds inside your arteries. When you lie in certain positions, especially with your neck bent or your chest compressed, blood flow to the brain may be restricted. This restriction can reduce oxygen delivery to critical areas and increase the chance of a clot forming or a vessel rupturing. At the same time, sleeping in positions that place pressure on your chest or abdomen can raise intrathoracic pressure, making it harder for your heart to pump efficiently. Over the course of hours, this strain adds up, leaving your brain vulnerable to sudden events like stroke. The situation is even more concerning in seniors. As we age, arteries stiffen and become more prone to narrowing. Conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol make blood vessels more fragile. A position that might not harm a younger person can trigger dangerous changes in someone with these risk factors. For example, lying flat on your back without support for the head may cause airway obstruction and poor oxygenation, especially in people with sleep apnea. This leads to repeated drops in oxygen levels, surges in blood pressure, and massive stress on blood vessels in the brain. Over time, these episodes can silently damage the brain and raise stroke risk. You may notice symptoms that seem harmless, like morning headaches, dizziness when standing up, or tingling in your hands and arms. These are not just inconveniences. They may be early warnings that your sleeping position is compromising circulation while you sleep. Ignoring them gives stroke a chance to strike without warning. The lesson here is clear posture matters, not just for comfort but for survival. If this explanation has opened your eyes, wait until you hear about the next part, where I will reveal the specific sleeping position that is most dangerous and explain why it can quietly raise your risk of stroke overnight. Part 2. The dangerous sleeping position explained. The second truth you must know is that not all sleeping positions are created equal. There is one posture in particular that quietly increases stroke risk overnight. and that is sleeping face down or in a prone position with the head turned sharply to one side. At first, this may feel comfortable because it can reduce snoring or pressure on the back, but from a neurological and cardiovascular perspective, it is dangerous. When you lie on your stomach, the chest is compressed, restricting the expansion of your lungs. This makes breathing shallower and oxygen delivery less efficient. Over hours, this mild but continuous deprivation of oxygen can strain the brain and heart. At the same time, the neck is forced into an unnatural rotation. This position can compress the carotid arteries that run along the sides of the neck and supply blood to the brain. Prolonged pressure reduces blood flow and increases the risk of clot formation or arterial spasm. In seniors with stiffened arteries, this can be the final trigger that causes a stroke during the night. The prone position also elevates intracranial pressure. With the face pressed into the pillow and the head bent, venous blood draining from the brain is partially obstructed. This raises pressure inside the skull and can increase the likelihood of vessel rupture in those with fragile blood vessels or untreated high blood pressure. Many patients who experience morning headaches, blurred vision, or dizziness upon waking are unknowingly suffering from these effects. Even younger individuals may wake up with tingling in the arms or numbness in the face because circulation was impaired while sleeping this way. Imagine what happens after 6 or 8 hours in this posture, night after night. The risk accumulates silently until one night the damage is permanent. Studies on sleep apnea have shown that people who sleep on their stomachs often experience more severe oxygen desaturations, and this effect is magnified in older adults or those with obesity. Combined with hypertension or diabetes, this posture creates the perfect storm for a nocturnal stroke. This is why many neurologists caution against prolonged prone sleeping, especially in seniors. The lesson is that comfort should never outweigh safety. What feels relaxing for the body may be silently strangling the brain of oxygen. If this has made you reconsider how you sleep tonight, wait until you hear about the next part, where I will explain who is most at risk from this sleeping position and why certain groups must be extra cautious. Part 3. Who is most at risk when sleeping this way? The third truth is that, while the prone sleeping position can affect anyone, certain groups of people face much higher risks. And for them, this habit can become deadly. Seniors are at the top of this list. With age, blood vessels lose their flexibility and become more prone to narrowing and rupture. When an older adult sleeps on the stomach with the head twisted, the fragile carotid arteries may be compressed just enough to reduce blood supply to the brain. And after several hours, this can trigger a stroke. Seniors are also more likely to live with chronic conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol, all of which increase vulnerability. The second high-risk group includes people with untreated sleep apnea. In these individuals, the airway collapses repeatedly during sleep, causing oxygen levels to fall sharply. Lying on the stomach worsens this collapse, making oxygen deprivation more severe. Each drop in oxygen forces the body to surge blood pressure in an effort to compensate, placing enormous stress on brain vessels. Repeated nightly episodes make a catastrophic event much more likely. People with obesity also carry higher risk. Excess weight on the chest and abdomen in the prone position makes it harder to breathe deeply, amplifying the restriction of airflow and reducing circulation efficiency. This combination of reduced oxygen, higher blood pressure, and increased intracranial pressure is a dangerous triad. Another group at risk includes those with vascular disease or heart rhythm disorders such as atrial fibrillation. These conditions already predispose patients to clot formation. If blood flow in the neck is restricted for hours while sleeping face down, the chance of a clot traveling to the brain rises significantly. Even younger individuals with congenital vessel malformations or a family history of stroke are not safe, and prone sleeping can aggravate their already delicate situation. Women with migraines, which are sometimes linked with vascular instability, may also be at heightened risk. The danger does not stop there. People who consume alcohol before bedtime or use sedative medications are more likely to roll into unsafe sleeping positions and remain there for hours without waking. Their protective reflexes are blunted, so they do not shift position even when circulation is compromised. For these groups, the prone sleeping position is more than just uncomfortable. It is potentially life-threatening. Families must be aware, if you or someone you love belongs to these categories, pay special attention to how they sleep. A small change in posture can prevent tragedy. If this warning has opened your eyes, stay with me for the next part, where I will show you safer sleeping habits and practical adjustments that can protect your brain and heart every night. Part 4. Safer sleeping habits you must follow. The fourth truth is that while certain sleeping positions can silently increase your risk of stroke, you have the power to change your habits and protect your brain every night. Safer sleep begins with choosing a posture that supports blood flow and reduces pressure on the brain and heart. For most people, the safest position is lying on the side, particularly the left side. This posture helps reduce pressure on the heart, improves circulation, and keeps the airway more open, which is critical for those prone to sleep apnea. Lying on your side also prevents the compression of the carotid arteries and reduces intracranial pressure, giving the brain a more stable environment through the night. Using the right pillow is another simple but powerful adjustment. A supportive pillow that keeps your head and neck aligned prevents unnecessary twisting of the cervical arteries. Avoid pillows that are too high or too flat, both of which can strain the neck and compromise blood flow. For people who tend to roll onto their stomach during the night, placing a pillow behind the back or using a body pillow can help maintain the side position. Elevating the head of the bed slightly, even by just a few inches, can also promote better breathing and reduce the risk of airway collapse. For seniors, this adjustment is especially beneficial as it lowers the chance of sudden blood pressure spikes. Avoid alcohol or sedatives before bedtime. These substances relax the muscles too much, leading to airway collapse and making it harder to shift positions if circulation is compromised. Instead, establish a calming bedtime routine that promotes natural, restful sleep without chemical interference. Maintaining a comfortable room temperature is also vital. Sleeping in an environment that is too cold or too hot can stress the cardiovascular system and interfere with healthy circulation. Moderate, stable temperatures protect both the body and brain during the vulnerable hours of the night. If you suffer from chronic conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, or atrial fibrillation, take your medications as prescribed and discuss sleep safety with your doctor. In some cases, using a CPAP machine for sleep apnea or wearing a heart monitor may provide extra protection. Finally, listen to your body. Do not ignore signs like frequent morning headaches, dizziness, or tingling in the arms. These may be your body's way of warning you that your sleep posture is harmful. Adjusting how you sleep may feel uncomfortable at first, but with practice, new habits become second nature. The lesson is clear: safer sleep is possible, and it may be the simplest yet most effective way to lower your stroke risk. If these solutions have given you hope, stay with me for the conclusion, where I will remind you why something as ordinary as sleeping position can mean the difference between life and sudden disability, and how one small change tonight can protect your tomorrow. Conclusion: protect your brain while you sleep. We have now reached the conclusion, and the lesson is simple but profound. Stroke is not only a disease of daylight hours. It can strike silently in the night while you believe your body is resting. What seems like an innocent sleeping position can in fact place pressure on your chest, strain your neck arteries, restrict your breathing, and quietly raise your stroke risk without a single warning sign. For seniors, for people with high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, or heart disease, this danger is even greater. But here is the good news. Stroke risk is not fixed. It can be reduced by simple awareness and small daily changes. By avoiding the prone sleeping position, by supporting your head and neck properly, by keeping your airway open, and by choosing side sleeping as your default, you can protect your brain from unnecessary stress. Add to this the power of prevention, controlling blood pressure, keeping cholesterol in check, quitting smoking, staying active, and avoiding excess alcohol or sedatives. Each of these habits, combined with safe sleep posture, can dramatically reduce your risk of waking up with a stroke. As a brain doctor, I have seen the heartbreaking difference between patients who were unaware and patients who took preventive steps. The unaware arrived at the hospital unable to speak, move, or even recognize their loved ones. The prepared walked out with their independence intact. The difference was knowledge applied in time. Tonight, when you lie down to sleep, remember this truth. Your position is not just about comfort. It is about circulation, oxygen, and survival. Protect your brain, because your brain is your independence, your memories, your ability to connect with the people you love. If this video has opened your eyes, share it with someone you care about, because awareness can save lives. Now, I would love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one change you will make in your sleeping habits starting tonight. Let us support each other on this journey to healthier, safer sleep. If you enjoyed this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can improve future content. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another health tip made just for you.